back to the studios, everyone. My name is Carson and this is K2 Productions. I think we all know why you're here, so let's get right into it. So we are back for an update on my Clone Trooper armor, and I've kind of made some good progress on some of it, so I just wanted to show you kind of what was going on. So I want to give you guys an update on some of my armor. As you can see, I've been working really hard sanding and primering and wood fillering like crazy. So here's my back piece, and it looks basically perfect. I'm super happy with it. The only thing that basically needs to be done eventually is I'm going to take a little rotary tool and recut the line that goes around this, because you can see it's basically only visible here and here, just because it's really shallow, and when I was trying to fill everything, it just gets filled up. But other than that, my back piece looks gorgeous. And I guess I'll tell you guys what I've been doing with it real quick. I didn't feel the need to record it all just because you guys didn't need to see me like sanding and painting and sanding and painting and sanding and painting and sanding and painting. Like, it'd have gotten boring real quick. I'm sure you got bored just listening to me talk about it. So all I have done is, if you've watched my previous video about the painting on of the wood filler, I've been painting that on, sanding it, and then filler priming it, and just basically doing a cycle of that till I've gotten to here. So you can see I have some, like filler primer in specific areas because I felt that they still needed some more, but it is basically perfect. Like, I'm going to sand this with like a very high grit, and then I'm going to paint it all white, because I don't know exactly what I'm doing with my armor yet, how I'm going to paint them, but I know they're probably going to need to be white, so I'm going to start with that, I guess. Here's my chest piece. You can see the same thing where I put a lot of filler primer on right here because there was still just a little bit that I think needed to be filled, but this is basically perfect too. From out there, it looks perfect. When I get closer, basically the only thing wrong with this still is you can just barely see that there is a seam right here that I still have to get that taken care of, and kind of in here just a little bit, but it's basically perfect. So this is about to be done. I have this, which is perfect. Like, I'm ready to paint this white to my cod piece. I've done the same thing, and so you can see here's all the drips of the resin that has been coated in wood filler and stuff like that now. But I'm not doing anything with the sides because it's not worth my time. I have the butt piece, which is basically perfect as well. I don't think there's really anything else I need to do. I've sanded it. I'm just going to sand it with some high grit still, and then I think this guy will be ready to paint. There are still some like tiny imperfections. Yeah, you can't even see them on camera. But nobody's ever. It just bothers me because I notice them. Yeah, see, like here's this little thing. But nobody's ever going to freaking notice that crap, so I really just need to tell myself it doesn't matter because it's just a waste of time. So here's one of my thigh pieces. My other thigh pieces over there basically looks the same. And this is pretty much done except for you can see there's like some bubbling and cracking right here. And I started to peel this off with my fingernail. This is resin that didn't dry. I don't know if my resin was just really old and horrible, but I said in my other video, I've had a horrible time with the resin. It sucks to paint on. It is hard to sand. Like, it takes forever to sand off, and it just gums up your sander. So for me, it was not good. And then I've had this problem where it didn't dry. So I'm about to scrape it off as best as I can with like, my fingernail and like a box cutter. And I'm going to fill it in with some wood filler, and hopefully it doesn't cause me any more problems, because I've put like countless layers of wood filler and primer on top of it, and it still cracks from the underneath. It starts to crack. So I've had a couple problems with that on like my thighs, mostly the thigh pieces. And so I'm hoping I'm at the end of that problem. We'll see. But other than that, once I finish that, these are basically ready to paint as well. They look really good. They're not as smooth as some of my other things. Like I can see in the light, you can see there's still some like bumps around where the seam is. So these might not be quite finished yet, but they're pretty close. So yeah, I think you guys got the rundown on what's going on with my parts right now. I'm going to scrape this crap off and try and fill it in and do a little more sanding, and I will be ready to paint these white. All right, so I've actually, here, you can take a look over there. I've been painting some of my pieces white. And then I also put wood filler on this guy because the seam still didn't look satisfactory to me. And then I just put, this is where I scraped off the excess, what's it called, that wasn't drying. I scraped that off. And I just put a little bit right here. So I'm going to sand it real quick right now, and then I'll probably cover it all in filler primer real quick. Guys, so I just carved in this line around it like I said I was going to do. Just if you weren't watching previous videos or you missed it, my Bondo filled in. They print with this line, with this indent, but my Bondo had kind of filled it in and stuff like that. So I said I would carve it in later with like a rotary tool or something. And I ended up using a set of files that I have right here. I just bought them off of Amazon. It's a set of like mini file. There's like needle files and bigger files. So I basically just, you know, filed it in, carved it in real quick. And I did have some lines, like there was a line here that was there and here. So I had something to go off of. You can see this was my first one. You can see it's kind of funny. It's not perfectly straight, and then the corner is weird, you know. But I think it looks pretty good. As long as you're not staring at it, nobody's gonna notice. So I'm pretty happy with it. All right, guys. So that's really about where I'm at right now with the clone armor. The next things that I'm going to be working on are kind of just a lot more sanding and finishing and stuff like that. I still have to work on the elbow pads and the knee pads and things like that. So, and I also really want to start getting to work on the straps. I've kind of done just like a little bit of them, but not really too much. So I kind of want to start working on the straps a lot to make sure that it all fits nicely and I can start actually wearing it and seeing what everything looks like. Because I've kind of done some test fits, but not really too much. So that's something that I definitely want to get to very soon. I've bought some magnets for the straps for the shoulders, so that might be coming pretty soon. I'm not quite sure yet, but if you guys haven't joined the squad here yet, definitely think about subscribing. If you like this kind of content and you like this video, give me a like. It helps out a ton. You know the whole spiel, blah, 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 blah. But I think that's really about it. If you have any questions, definitely put them down below. If you want to reach out to me and ask me any more things or share your builds or just see what's going on in the shop, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at K2ProductionsYT. That's really about all I have to badger with you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. It means so much to me, I promise. Thank you so much. Stay safe out there, guys, and maybe try and get out and make something.